I'm going to talk about leadership, adaptability, and sustainable organizational performance. And modern leadership is not only about direction and results. So I have worked with a lot of places, like you said, in ministries, in shipping and offshore. Now I'm in the police, but I also worked in the Deloitte law firm. And what I've seen is my experiences and also some law requirements I'm going to talk about today. So it will be quite a mix from my experiences and also what I've gathered from the places I've worked from. So in my experience, it's also about responsibility, learning, psychological, safety, and people who can perform over time. So that's what I'm going to talk about: leadership, performance systems, leadership development, and adaptive practice. So we're going to split this in 4 pieces today. And the first one, and maybe you all already heard of it, but this is the psychological duties, and they are more explicit in the Working Environment Acts. And it clarifies how work must be organized, planned, and also carried out. And this is not actually a new thing, but it's the first time we have it written in the law. So the psychological risk is now a part of core leadership, like physical environment, now it's also psychological environment. And the leaders have to deliver on those requirements. So the requirements, in short, is that you need to make sure that it's not unclear on conflicting demands and expectations. It's not supposed to be emotional demands when working with people, and the workload and time pressure exceeds available capacity, and support and assistance in the work. So those are the requirements now in the law, and I have a very short time to talk about this. So I'm just going to give you the headlines. So the key takeaway here is that the rule clarifies existing employer duties. Psychological factors must be fully acceptable for health, safety, and welfare. And that will come into play when you are a leader. Maybe you have a very busy schedule, but this you have to deliver on as well. And I can take an example. If a leader who follows up on a low performance cannot just say, "You must improve." The leader must also clarify expectations, assess whether the employee has received enough training, consider whether the work of environment supports performance, and document the follow-up properly. The next I will mention is the second part, and that is weak performance is not always an individual problem. It's easy to point at one individual employee, but organizations must consider both the person and the system around them. So when performance falls short, the cause may be unclear goals, weak communications, insufficient training, or low trust, not just motivation. And I can take another example. If an employee may appear unmotivated, but the real problem could be that the person has never received clear priorities, does not understand what good performance looks like, or lack of feedback from the manager. And I see this all the time, because I have very hard cases, and I also go to the law and to the court law, so I see them from both perspectives, from the employer and the employee, and I see it's a lot of conflicts as well. So the 3 questions here that we should bear into mind is, are the priorities clear enough? Does the employee know what good performance means? And also, does the person receive feedback, support, and the right conditions? So the core idea here is the performance follow-up must be both individual and systemic. And what I really like to talk about much more and much longer today is this. Because I am training leaders currently, and I am helping them with these requirements. And every day I have leaders coming to me saying, "I have a case." And I say, "Okay, let's see what you got today." So the leaders also need competence development, because they are leaders, and professional expertise is valuable, but it does not automatically make someone a good leader. So for example, a manager may avoid difficult conversation because they are unsure how to handle conflict. They are unsure how to handle performance issues. They are unsure of the psychological concerns. In that case, the solution is not only to demand better leadership, you need to be a better leader, but how? And then we need to provide coaching, and we also need to provide frameworks and practical training. So many leadership today challenges arise because leaders lack training and they don't know how to perform their role. So how can we build competence? It's in the day-to-day, like Nick said, it's day-to-day, but also in a longer term. We need to be structured, and we need to have focus on themes so they can learn and be prepared when the case actually comes. So communication and difficult conversation, they need to train and learn. Conflict, role clarity, ethical judgment, feedback, expectations, how to give them, how to receive them, and also emotional maturity and professional distance. Because maybe you have been a leader, maybe you have been a colleague, and then you become a leader because you're a senior maybe, and then you get a leader position. And what then? Then you need to be trained. It's a skill. Leadership is a skill. So the sustainable performance requires adaptive leadership. One leadership style does not fit every situation. So that's actually another factor. So skilled leaders adjust the level of structure and involvement. And in one situation, a leader may need to give clear instructions and close follow-ups. In another situation, the same leader may need to give autonomy, listen more, and involve. Involve the employee in the problem solving, and the skill lies in knowing what the situation requires. So the situation determines the leadership approach. So like I just very shortly said here, you need some moderate structure, of course, but you also need to be on one side or the other, depending on the situation. So sustainable leadership is not just soft leadership, as you may see or may call it. It is leadership that combines clear expectations, real accountability, and human understanding, so that people and organization can perform over time. So my conclusion to this is that the future of leadership is about balance. It's been talked about already, the balance. So organizations that succeed over time do not choose between people and performance. They be leaders who can combine both. So clear expectations without becoming way too strict, but also keep in mind the structure all the time. Support and safety without becoming overly familiar. You're not the best friend. That's how it is. You're not the best friend. You're a leader. And you need to have an structure to keep the accountability. So not so much that learning stops. So this is why structural leadership, training, support, and dedicated leaders who can meet psychological work environments duties are needed. And that's a very short peek into what I'm going to talk about today. And of course, I'm ready to speak with you later today about these things. And hopefully I will meet you in another occasion as well. Hopefully not in court, but in another situation we can talk more about this.